I would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nations, who are the traditional custodians of the land on which I stand. I would like to acknowledge their elders, past, present, and emerging, and to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders who may be watching today, or in the future. Sovereignty was never ceded. It always was, and always will be, Aboriginal land. And that bears repeating. It always was, and always will be. My name is Miss Cairo. My pronouns are she, her. I am a tanned woman of color with a brown afro. I'm wearing a linen white and blue striped, well, it's a dress, but you can only see the top of it. I'm sitting on a green chair with some pink and blue flowers on it, or roses. And to the left of me, there is a fern in front of some red brick fireplace with a mirror behind me, a white wall, and there's a beige curtain. Amazing. So before we begin, we're going to take a little breather with each other. Just take a few moments to kind of reconnect with ourselves and take a moment to be still. So we're going to breathe in for 3, hold for 3, and out for 3. So 1, hold, and out. And again. Oh my God, I feel like that's the first time I've stopped in about 3 weeks. Just going to enjoy this feeling for a little bit. Oh, it's been a lovely ride for the last week or so. I'm feeling really good today. I haven't slept for about 12 hours. My sleeping pattern is all over the place, and I'm totally fine with that. I think one of the great things that kind of lockdown's teaching me is that it's totally okay to have erratic sleeping patterns. Now, I'm all for like trying to set routines. It's something that I've always struggled with in my life. However, I'm acknowledging that routines can be quite abstract. So my routine is actually dedicating myself to self-care, and it doesn't have to be regimented at a particular time. But just as I'm kind of connecting with that as often as possible, for me, that's a good enough habit and routine to have. I think what I've been enjoying about lockdown is that there's no expectations of when I should be getting up or going to bed. I think I'm a nocturnal person through and through. That's why I work in the nightlife, and I operate very well at 3 a.m. But obviously, that's not the norm in society. So, I think we're constantly kind of fighting a battle of being like, oh, but this is what I do, and that sort of stuff. And I think we then end up putting so much pressure on ourselves. So, we're fighting against what the norm is. So we're feeling more ostracized and weirder and all of these things. Sorry, I'm not as articulate today as I probably should be because of 11 hours of not sleeping. But the lockdown has allowed me to kind of play around with, just accepting that I will sleep when I need to sleep. And I will work when I need to work, and I will enjoy working when I want to work. I'm just kind of enjoying this queer aspect of what routines are. It's that it doesn't have to be so regimented. Obviously I could up the ante on some of my self-care things, like keeping the house a bit tidier. I'm sure my boyfriend is watching in the other room, agreeing and laughing right now. But swings and roundabouts, we're all learning, we're all evolving human beings. So I had a little realization in the shower today that I'm doing a show right now to people that I don't even know who I'm doing it to. Normally when I am doing a show, there's an audience in front of me and I get to feel the energy, I get to see the beautiful happy smiling faces. But obviously this is a completely different and new platform that we're on. I say new, I've been doing this for 4 weeks now. But I'm realizing I never know who's on the other end of the lens. So it would be absolutely amazing today if you like, if you comment, if you ask questions. You can do that in the comments and I can see it and then I can bring them up. I think there is a little bit of a delay sometimes, which is absolutely fine. But yeah, I think you should say hello, I love you, Miss Cairo, if you're watching. It's going to be really depressing if no one is watching right now, but I'm pretty sure that's not the case because you all want to see my beautiful face at 11 a.m. on every Sunday because, you know, look at me. I'm stunning. I'm stunning. Normally I plan things a little bit better, but I kind of being a bit free and easy this week because I've been doing so much work. You know, I have been doing a lot of work on the People of Cabaret. I'm just going to do a bit of a shameless plug there. There's going to be some really exciting things coming, like launching in the next month. But I'm doing a lot of admin at the moment, which I'm actually really enjoying. Who knew how creative and fun spreadsheets could be? And there is no irony in that statement. There's something so poetic about efficiency and you know, I really love discovering new formulas. Oh my God, I love you too, David Butler. You stunner. Oh my God, that distracted me with that little love bomb there. Yeah, I'm really enjoying formulas and spreadsheets. So, you know, comment. Why don't you even comment your favorite formula? Let's kind of get down to it today. So we have a amazing guest. I'm just seeing if there's anything I've missed. I'm so like scatty today. Okay, actually, before I do bring on my guest, I'm going to just talk about this really quickly. I have realizing how much of a massive fear I have about being a perfectionist. I absolutely hate being on camera. It is one of my biggest fears. Not my biggest fears, but it's one of my fears. And this year I have made a commitment to myself to kind of get better and get more confident and comfortable on it. You know, hence why I'm not wearing makeup today, because I really want to start. Hi, Marty. I really want to start falling in love with what I look like. Because sometimes when I watch things back, I'm like, oh God, you're ugly. Oh my God, not that angle. I mean, you know, look at these chins right now. But I'm trying to fall in love with those, like, you know, awkward, ugly moments of me, because, you know, I'm always beautiful anyway. I don't know where I was going with that, but it was something about being a perfectionist. That was it. Yeah, like I, you know, was probably worried a bit today because I was like, oh, I've not planned much, but it's okay. I'm not always going to be on fire. I'm not always going to be at the top of my game. And I think that's actually something that we as artists and as human beings need to understand, that we can't constantly keep churning things out. Okay, sorry, quick another rant. This is another thing that is the COVID has changed us. We're not having to churn out content constantly. We're actually taking back the autonomy of being able to make work for ourselves and for our communities. And there's been some really amazing things happening in the communities, and it's not driven financially. It's not driven about, you know, making work constantly, making this, There's been such a amazing, like a magnitude of a shift in people's understanding and acknowledgement of mental health, and the importance of, you know, creating art for our mental health. So I've really enjoyed witnessing a lot of this ugliness with us, because ugly is still beautiful, and it's making me feel so much more comfortable about creating content, about creating work. I'm feeling a little bit more fearless, because I'm not constrained by all this other stuff that's going on around us. So yeah, that's why I don't care about being perfect today, because I'm already bloody perfect anyway. So before I get another ramble, I am going to bring on our guest. Who are we? Well, us in this together. And our guest today, we have been speaking for a couple of months now, and we first did the winter retreat together. I think that's when I first saw Juan and their name on things. And we've been like backing and forthing on Facebook and liking and loving each other's posts and comments and things like that. And it's really lovely that we can actually spend some time together today. So born in Spain, Juan moved to Australia in 2012 to pursue a career in the performing arts. After 3 years in Wollongong, Juan moved to Melbourne in 2016 to study music theatre at the Victorian College of the Arts. Upon graduating, he appeared in Mad World, Spring Awakening, Adam by Francis Poet, and joined the international cast of Paw Patrol Live. So normally I will get people to whoop, holler and cheer. So do it in your kitchens, do it in your bedrooms, do it on your balcony, do it wherever you are. And let's introduce our guest for this week, Juan Gomez.
Hi.
Oh my God, hi. Oh my God, I want that teacup.
Oh my God. I would tell you to have it, but my housemate would kill me.
Oh my God, that is so cool.
And it doesn't even have tea, it's water, but the teacup, oh, look at that.
I have literally turned into an old woman, and being an old woman is an absolutely wonderful thing. But I've like got a selection of teacups now, and it just brings me so much joy.
Oh, it's stunning. It's so pretty. Also, I just realized it kind of matches your armchair as well. I feel like you need it.
Cheers. Oh yeah, the armchair. Do you know where we got this chair from?
Where?
When I was back in England last year, my partner sent me a picture saying, "Oh my God, let's get this," and it was just on the side of the street, and I was like, "Yes!" And when I came home from England, I was like, "That's horrible," because it's a rocking chair as well. But I've now commented it, and it's my chair now.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste. You gotta grow into it.
So how are you? How's your day going so far?
I'm feeling pretty good. I had a little bit of a cheeky self-care routine before we got together, which it's so important and so necessary. Yeah, so now I'm feeling very good. Have my little teacup of water by my side. My friend Jack just behind me,
Jack.
Taking care of me. He's a bit shy, so he probably won't reply. But yeah, I'm very excited to be here. How are you?
I am good. As I've already stated, 11 hours not slept yet, and that's fine. You know, I think I'm running on about 10 hours this whole week, but it's just the state we're in, and I love it.
Absolutely. And it's totally okay.
So you were telling me before that you have just come from Queensland. How the hell did you manage that?
I mean, luckily, because Queensland is a deserted place, we didn't really have many cases of COVID during the last few months now. So when I decided that it was time for me to come back to Melbourne, it was actually fine. I didn't really have any struggles. It was still a bit scary. Like, I did all the research to make sure, oh my God, I get so scared if like they would stop me in the airport, blah, blah, stuff like that. But everything was fine. I didn't have to quarantine. So yeah, very happy to be back home.
So how long were you in Queensland for?
So I went up to Queensland in March, and I've been there since up until last Monday. Because Mum relocated to Queensland, to Mackay, a couple of years ago now. And so when the whole COVID kind of started getting a bit crazy, she literally called me one morning and she was like, "Hey, you've got 4 hours to pick up whatever you need and bob your ass to here." And that's what I did.
Oh my God, yeah. Because she's Spanish, isn't she?
Yeah.
But with an Australian residency?
Yeah, so both her and I are both born and raised in Spain, but we both have a dual citizenship. So yeah, she has been in Australia for quite much longer than me.
Well, that's something you and I have massively in common, is that we're both immigrants.
Period, and we get the job done. I was gonna drop an S-bomb.
I mean, it is the Sunday bomb.
Yeah, it's the Sunday bomb. Absolutely. Yes, we sure are immigrants.
Oh, yeah. And because you moved here in 2012, was it?
Yeah, so I moved here in November 2012. So it's actually about to hit 8 years now. I think. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not good with maths, so yeah.
Because what was your what I'm going into it because this is like I've literally just gone through the whole visa process.
Yeah.
What was it like for you like 8 years ago?
I had already acquired the citizenship before I actually ever came to Australia for the first time, which I'm very lucky and I feel very privileged for. So previous, like leading up to finally coming here, the biggest mess was to get the passport ready. Because I remember once, it was the previous year, I think it was 2011, that mum came to Spain for like a cheeky holiday. I think that's when it was. Maybe it was in 2012. And we wanted to go to Barcelona because I had never been to Barcelona at the time. And now it's one of my favorite cities in the world. It's
Oh my God, let's do a road
stunning.
trip when we can next year.
Please. Oh my God, that'd be stunning.
Cairo.
Yes, take over Spain and the world. Yeah, so we went to Barcelona and it was the first time and that I had been there, and it was most beautiful city. But because it was in the middle of August, and Spain is famous for like closing for business in August for summer because everyone wants to go to the beach.
Yeah.
We weren't able to go to the embassy to get my passport ready. So we had to go to Madrid on purpose just to get my passport. And the thing is that the Pope had decided that that same weekend was also the weekend he was going to go to Madrid. So all the streets in Madrid were packed with people, like just like trying to see the Pope. And I was like, get out the way.
I need my citizenship.
Yes. But yeah, so that's kind of how the months leading up to coming here kind of went. But yeah, I think I acquired the citizenship in 2005. That's when mom finally was able to like get it sorted. And I grew up like being like, oh no, I'm not Australian, blah blah. And I never realized how much how lucky and privileged I was to be able to eventually be able to hold to that part of myself that I still hadn't discovered and be able to like be here and join this country and this country that was never seeded, and land that was never seeded. But yeah, so it's been a trip, absolutely.
Oh my God, it's one of those things. Like Australia was never on my radar. Like I'd seen Neighbours, I'd seen Home Away. I was like, oh, cute. Like, don't think I'm ever going to go there. And then obviously, like, fell in love with a beautiful boy and ended up moving halfway across the world for him. And I'm so happy that I made that decision, or that decision was thrust upon me.
Yeah.
But it's like it is weird. Like I'm British. Like my mother's side is, and oh, where was I going with that? That's it. I'm British.
Stunning. We love it.
I find it really funny that people are like, "No, you're an expat." I'm like, "No, I'm an immigrant." Like, I only kind of brought light to it because it's such a loaded word sometimes, and it's you see how much I haven't planned this. I don't know where I'm going with this, but we'll just see.
Oh, you should have gotten a coffee instead of a tea.
I can't do no. I cannot do coffee. It gives me too much anxiety.
That's good to know.
Yeah,
good to know. Good to know.
I have to have a decaf. I'm one of those people that goes into a coffee shop and I'm like, hi, can I have like a soy decaf, low fat, no sugar? That's like I have 2 sugars, but I'm like that. I cannot do like coffee apart from if it's in Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I love a Coca-Cola.
But yeah, like I think kind of I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm probably just going to drop it. But yeah, we're both immigrants, and that's cute. And it's cute that there's like, oh God, I'm so tired, and I'm such a terrible host today. But that's absolutely fine.
You're the most stunning host.
Oh my God, yeah,
absolutely.
I love you. Tell me more about your drag, actually.
So my drag actually started developing once I was at VCA. So like you said, I was lucky enough to be able to study at the Victorian College of the Arts after being here for a couple of years. And during that time, I had already had a few years kind of discovering my identity as my sexuality, and eventually also starting to discover my gender and how it eventually became a non-binary way of seeing myself and identifying. So yeah, it was during VCA that I started kind of like having an opportunity to start touching on drag. We had very good, very great opportunities in some subjects to not only explore it, but also learn the craft behind it, which I clearly, like you can imagine, I was like, oh, this is so cool. And yeah, then through that, I started kind of going out to the drag circuit in Melbourne and started meeting a few other people.
Shout out to Molly's.
Yes, can't wait to be back. Yeah, and yeah, literally like going to Molly's and like starting to meet a lot of people. I was a part of Mad World, like you said, and when it was the venue that it was played at was Vaudeville in Fitzroy, and that is also a drag. That is also a drag bar, and I also, you know, we were surrounded by drag all the time and cabaret, and I also had a chance to be able to connect with them. So it was through those connections and the kind of passion that I had already had previously for it, and the upskilling that I had already been doing behind the scenes, that I started kind of like getting a lot more into it. And yeah, I love getting painted. I love makeup. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Was that 2016 that you were at VCA exploring?
Yes, I started. I started at 2016 for music theatre, but it wasn't really until 2017 that I started really kind of like trying out drag for the first time.
And VCA was supportive and cool about it.
Pardon me.
VCA were like supportive and cool about it.
Yeah, they were like absolutely, and the feeling that the drag started kind of like creating in me, like the sense of empowerment, was something that I was then able to take to all the other subjects that I was also doing. So, you know, even though it was a tiny little elective and I maybe like got a couple of opportunities to do it throughout the years, I still was able to get that skill or what I learned from it and take it to my acting and take it to my singing. And yeah, and like now that is yet another skill to add to things that I can come to auditions with, and you know, so yeah.
Because it's such a different time. Like, so I went to East 15 drama school back in 2010. I left in my second year. She didn't get her degree.
She didn't need it. She's stunning already.
You know, but I've had like you know, a long-term drag career before I transitioned to this beautiful woman I am today. And I remember being at school and like it kind of being beaten out of me about my drag. Like one of my first gigs, my first like professional jobs out of school, I worked with I can't even remember her name, but she was like one of the top choreographers, and she was like, oh, I don't know why you're bothering with that, like that drag shit. And it was just so demoralizing and
dehumanizing. Yeah, that's a hard one.
It's a hard for Sunday morning. And it just, you know, it really kind of you know, I've had as I said, like the long career in cabaret, and something that I've kind of noticed is that how kind of delegitimized it is as an like not an art form. So it really fills me with joy to like see that, you know, somewhere like the VCA and you know, these big arts bodies are like celebrating these intricate art forms because they are so vital to the world of performing. Like I've been saying this constantly. Cabaret is going to be the only form. Well, cabaret is the only form of theatre at the moment that can happen. You know, musical theatre isn't going to be happening. You know, I reckon until next year.
Anytime soon. Yeah, so true.
And like cabaret artists, we're resourceful. You know, get us a dollar store wig and a Britney track, and we'll entertain you for 3 minutes.
Absolutely. But yeah, one of the things that attract me the most about cabaret and drag is the fact that you don't have to ask for permission. You don't have to wait for someone to give you the opportunity. You create the opportunity for yourself. And it's such an empowering feeling, like to go on stage with something that you've created and be like, hey, this is me. If you like it, stay. If you don't like it, that's the door. You know what I mean? So it's great. I love it.
What's your like process when you're creating work in drag? I always love hearing like fellow drags processes, if there is any.
I like to I'm a very like musical person, and I really I have like folders in my Spotify that are labeled drag, and I'm kind of like, when I'm listening to a new song and I'm like, oh, this would be great for that, and then I kind of like put it there, and then I've got like notes on my phone, and from time to time, like whenever I have a random idea, I just write it down, and then when I find like songs that kind of match, then I start developing like different concepts, and that's kind of how I work it. It's kind of a mixture of the concept with the music. Yes, we do, David.
Yes, we
love
do,
you.
David.
Yeah.
David is definitely one to talk there as well.
Peppy would be proud of him.
And I can't believe I haven't even asked this. What's your drag name? What do you go by?
So her name is it's in the process of it's going through a bit of a transformation at the moment.
We love a transition.
We love transitions, absolutely. Yeah. Her name is horchata at the moment, like after the beautiful drink that was created in my town in Spain, unlike what other people think about. Yeah, period. So that is why I wanted to, it's a milky drink, very sweet, hence why I chose it.
Well, because I know there's a drag queen in New York called Horchata as well.
Ooh, she's coming for my gig.
Oh, I mean, I think she's been doing it for like a million years, but she's coming for your gig.
Oh well, I'm coming for your gig then. we'll think about that. I'll put that in the back of my mind.
People have got you got 3 minutes in the comments to suggest new drag names. Come on.
Put them. Well, my initial name was Nymphomaniac. That is the kind of the one that I kind of had before I went to horchata, and I'm kind of contemplating going back to it because it feels, feels nice and saucy.
We love a bit of sauce.
We love it.
Well, we've actually come to like the end of our time together. I think
That's it.
That's it. But you and I are going to continue having a little private chat, which will be available later on for our VIPs to access. Stay tuned more for that. But is there anything? I mean, like, I say we're finishing now. We can still talk about things if you want. Is there anything that you want to talk about, like what's happening in the industry, what's happening in your life, anything?
Yeah, so this week has been, the past few weeks, as I'm pretty sure a lot of people watching, have been incredibly crucial for our performing arts industry, and us as people of color and people from cultural and linguistically diverse backgrounds. We've come together as a community just like never before, and through everything that happened with Rob Guest endowment and the whole, everything that has been happening behind the scenes and publicly, we've been able to create this incredible community of people of color, performers, people of color, BIPOC, and CALD performers called The Quarter. And in the last week, the website IStandWithTheQuarter.com was released to the public, in which people are invited to pledge alongside all of us, towards an industry that will be more inclusive and more equitable for everyone, especially for, people like us. And I'm also very excited as well, because as of tomorrow, we're starting the week of free workshops of Auditions Unplugged, which I'm very excited. And I'm pretty sure you're also very excited because you're going to be one of our beautiful guests.
I am. I'm going to be doing a little conversation about mental health and things in the industry.
So important. But that's going to be a set of free workshops targeted to young performers that are looking to kind of get some sort of advice and mentoring on auditioning for either drama schools or just productions once we're able to audition for them again. They're totally free of cost, and they're led by alumni from VCA and WAPA and Griffith and stuff like that. And we've got some incredible industry professionals coming in. The deadline actually finishes tonight for submissions. So if anyone is still able to submit, you definitely, y'all should submit.
Oh my God, yes.
But yeah, it's a great, exciting initiative that I reckon it's going to keep on going for the next few years. So that's going to be very cool.
Yeah. Amazing! Thanks for bringing all of those to my attention. Not that I wasn't aware of them. But yeah, if people want to follow you, it's at, the Juan Gomez. There we go.
Yeah.
Is your drag on there? I haven't even checked. I'm terrible.
I think because it's been through such a process of metamorphosis lately, I think I disconnected, and I'm currently like working on the brand for the drag on the back. But I do have a drag account. I think it's currently under construction, so more to come in the next few months, I guess.
Oh well, if you need a drag auntie, I'm here for you whenever you need.
Hey, auntie, yeah.
Hi. She's not quite a mother. She's not that responsible. You know, the few kids I've got, they're all everywhere.
She's the cool auntie that I'd take out partying.
Exactly. Who's gonna steal your boyfriend? All right, my love. If I'll end this here, and then we'll carry on our little conversation in a little bit. Thank you so much for coming on today, and I'm grateful that you've been able to share your beautiful self with the world.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to have been able to be here today.
My pleasure. I'll see you in a sec. Oh my God, Juan is nearly swore then. Absolutely amazing, and I love them. So that's the end of our show today, which is fine. It's fine, I suppose. But you can always message me on social media. I'm always there. And also, little bone to pick with people who are watching. We've got a hashtag, and people need to be using it, and people need to be sending in pictures of what they're giving themselves. So with hashtag IGiveMyself, I want you to take a picture or write a status or take a video or whatever, to show me show me things that you've been doing to kind of practice self-care. Like, obviously we have to be careful about doing performative self-care, but I want to be part of your journey. I want to be like, know what's going on, like share these things with me. They're beautiful. Share these little moments of joy with me, because it brings me so much joy, and it helps get me out of dark places as well. And you know, there might be a little incentive, a little prize, a little prezi, even though we don't call them prizes. But yeah, use the hashtag, get involved, enjoy it. It's there for you as much as it is for me. Right. Thank you so much for joining us today on Conversations with Miss Cairo. Thank you for being patient and allowing me to be very rambly and whatever I'm being today, and I love it. Definitely think I'm going to continue doing the filming in front of this, because this looks cute. This is good lighting for me. I look perfect. I want to thank Antipodes Theatre Company for hosting this spectacular show, and special shout out to Brandon and Melissa, who I hope you're resting today, please. And I want to thank Chloe Towan, who did the beautiful graphics. I want to thank my boyfriend Greg Dennis, who took the beautiful picture of me. I want to thank Juan for coming onto the show and being so lovely. And I want to thank myself, because I am wonderful and amazing and beautiful. And I want you to say with me, I am loved, I am lovely, I am beautiful. So say it with me. I am loved, I am lovely, and I am beautiful. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I shall catch you all next week. Finger guns. Pew, pew, pew. Drinking my tea, and now there's an outro. Woo!